broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Are you ready for this episode of Project Runway? Because we are.
So ready.
This is the paintball extravaganza of season 14, episode 5, Gunn and Heidi. Oh. And with me are the beautiful ladies of Project Runway AfterBuzz Recap.
Michelle Uberreste.
And
Vivian Adaboi. Vivian Adaboi. You can find me at @BeatriceLeaviv on Instagram and Twitter.
Where can we find you, Michelle?
At Uberreste on Instagram and Twitter.
Nice. You both have the same name for both.
It
Just like
sense.
me, Amanda Fields Bennett, the Runway Queen on Twitter and Instagram, and we're going to get right into it. So this episode, the challenge is we're going to send you out into a field. You're wearing jumpsuits that are white. You have to compete against each other to get the most fabric. Right. That's what they're thinking. Mm-hmm. And, well, we're going to find out more later, but that's kind of the intro to the designers. They think that they're competing for fabric in these big bins.
Right. But there's so much left to come.
Yes. Yes. So as soon as the show begins, we kind of recap last week, and we see the girls, like, chatting in their rooms and kind of talking about what's been happening on the show. And, oh, Amanda doesn't feel so good being in the bottom so much. And so, you know, they kind of figure out that Amanda... that's where she is. She kind of is tired of being in the bottom 3 over and over.
I'd be tired of being in the bottom 3 too. But if you need to do better work to get out of the bottom 3, that should be more motivation, not something that you complain about all the time. You're complaining that you're a loser.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it needs to motivate you rather than get you down, because if you let it bog you down, I mean, what's going to happen?
It's a classic case of looking at it as, oh, it's their fault.
Right.
Like, they keep putting me in the bottom. It's like, no, you did.
It's a glass half empty or half full.
Yeah.
You can learn from the mistakes you made on the runway, or you can continue to make them. But, I mean...
And that's such foreshadowing right there. Foreshadowing to later on in the episode for so many different moments.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
This was a crazy runway and an interesting judging. And... as soon as Heidi and Tim come out onto the runway, well, they pose behind the screen like Charlie's Angels, and runway angels.
Oh, I love that.
And they come out and they're like, okay, and all the designers are like, what? So what were you thinking when they came out?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I was super excited.
Yeah. I think this is one of my favorite Tim Gunn lines of the show. We might have 2 Tim Gunn favorite lines tonight. So this one was, Miss Klum, you're not so bad yourself packing a pistol. And everyone was like, oh no, Tim Gunn. Tim Gunn, what did you just do? And then so... Heidi decides to start off by saying, okay, we're going to have a team challenge. And the first person is the winner from last week, Blake. So he goes up to the stage and he gets to choose a teammate. That's all they know. So he comes up there and he chooses Swapnil.
Great choice.
So he was the first of the choices. And then Heidi gets out that button bag. And we all know there's some shadiness to that button bag. I feel like the button bag includes a couple pockets.
Right, or maybe the button bag has all the same name in it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So no matter what, you're going to be choosing whoever they want.
Because she only had to choose one name. And I kind of saw a look on her face in this episode when she was talking about the button bag. She was kind of like, and I'm gonna use the button bag. Like a side eye, like, Or maybe she was just really into it. She's like, I get to do the button bag. But she pulls Candace's name. So then Candace goes on the runway, and I'm just going to go through the teams. So she picks Amanda, because I guess she feels bad for Amanda for getting in the bottom 3 so much.
And that was also shocking because she did so well with Ashley in that previous episode. Naturally, and also how they set it up on the show, you would have thought Ashley would have been her first choice.
I definitely didn't see Amanda as the first choice for anybody.
No, it was really puzzling because Amanda seems nice and all, but she's not.
She's definitely one of the weaker designers.
Well, she's not bringing anything new to the table. She knows how to construct some clothes, okay, but it's not. I haven't seen anything from her that I'm like, oh my god.
Right, and as a strategy, Candace was the leader. She should have been plotting out who are the strongest people, who can do something I can't do, so that I have the strongest team available, not just, who do I like to hang out with at dinner time.
Yeah, I completely agree
with that. You are so on the money with that. I was feeling the same way. I'm sure you guys are watching it out there and like scratching your heds like, what?
Yeah, like, do you want to win or do you just want to like have a dinner party?
Have a girls' night. A girls' night out.
Party in the workroom.
And I think that's what kind of happened. So then it goes back and forth. So then back to the team with Blake and Swapnil. Then Swapnil chooses Joseph. Then Amanda on the other team chooses Kelly. Then they flip back to the boys, and Joseph chooses Jake. Then Kelly chooses Lindsay. Jake chooses Edmund. Lindsay chooses Laurie. Edmund chooses Merlene, and Laurie doesn't choose anyone because Ashley's just left sitting there and she walks over. So we have a team of all boys plus Merlene, and then we have a team of all girls.
Oh, and not so happy Ashley.
It's the mean girls, okay? It's just, ooh, yeah.
Even Heidi had something to say about it too, because she was just as shocked as we were when we were watching that Ashley, who had won 2 challenges, strong competitor, was sitting there almost, kind of tearing up a little bit that she was last. That was the craziest thing to me.
It was really bizarre because I feel like most of the time people in the past that have been part of the show are kind of like watching out for their competition, but wouldn't you want to work together with the best instead of like, oh, they're my competition, so I have to like push them to the side?
Right. #hateration.
Yes. VIP with the hateration. Shout out to Steph Z. We miss you this week. Coming up with that nickname, but yeah, right. VIP with #hateration. There was hateration going on in that workroom and the runway.
It was mind-boggling. I don't know what is going on in the minds of these people.
I don't understand because Ashley could not be more sweet and more talented and great all-around person. I don't understand. We're angry.
Yeah.
We're angry designers.
We're hateration with the choosing. Okay, well. So I was kind of excited this week because they had like a game for the designers to play, and it wasn't so much like about a sponsor or corporate sponsor. It's just like, let's go play outside, capture the fabric.
Yeah.
Instead of capture the flag. And so they have paintball guns, and then they have grenades, and they had like certain people that had each one. And I don't know, what was your like favorite part of that?
My favorite part was Ashley's redemption.
Yes.
Oh my God. She was chosen last, but then when it came down to it, her team needed her because she revealed that she had an advantage, playing with paintball guns as a kid with her brother. And she was like a sharpshooter. Like the whole time she was just gutting them down. It was so cool. I was so excited for her. Like, yes,
She
Ashley.
just like planted her feet and aimed that gun. It was like pow, 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 pow. It was so great. I was like, yes, Ashley.
I think it was Edmund that said, Ashley is hell with that gun. I was like, hell yeah, she is.
Yeah, I was really excited. And Michelle, what did you see in that paintball game that was interesting?
My favorite part is the twist at the end.
Yes, go ahead and say it.
So each team is trying to get as much fabric as they possibly can because they know if they don't have any fabric, they will have nothing to work with. Mm-hmm. So the game is over, and Tim announces that they're actually going to be using their play suits and not the fabric.
I like that you said play suits. I like that. Can we bring that term into everyone using it? I love it. Play suit.
And the funny part is Blake decided he wasn't going to play the game, so he had nothing. He was clean as a whistle.
He's like, I don't want to get hit. I'm over here in the corner.
I think Jake called him poor Princess Blake.
Yeah.
Pretty little princess.
Which is kind of a good strategy, though, if you're thinking of like not getting hit. But he wasn't trying to get the fabric. He was just over there, like,
So not fun.
I don't want to play. So yeah, Jake really. Wait, sorry, Blake. Jake and Blake. Shake and bake. What am I saying? Blake was really funny. He was trying to like stay out of the line of fire of Ashley. So the materials are the jumpsuits that they're wearing, or the play suits, and then the fabric that they captured is the supplemental fabric. And I was like, okay, supplemental. I was kind of hoping it was just
Not at all.
the jumpsuits. Then they come to the workroom from this exciting day, and they're like, oh, by the way, here's some more paintballs. Here's some more grenades filled with paint. Here's some more white fabric. It's
Cheating.
like, what was the
Cheating.
point? That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's like hey, you've been riding the bike for 4 or 5 weeks. Let me put some training wheels on that.
That's exactly. And I think it just takes away from the challenge. Like, it's not as challenging.
Yeah, it kind of was like, what was the point of going outside and playing paintball other than having a great time? Then, it's like, what are you going to... Are you just... I don't know.
Introducing
Find
the
a runway,
challenge.
make it more difficult. Like, maybe...
Especially since they had 2 days. They had enough time to make it work.
Hello, make it work. And so each team makes a 6-look mini collection. So 1 look from each designer. They're allowed to collaborate together and help each other out. So it's not just one per person, top to bottom. They can kind of, help each other finish things out and come up with a interesting concept. Like you said, you have 2 days, and as I said when we were watching it, the girl team decided to paint themselves into a corner because they started putting paintballs all over the white sheets without any kind of plan.
No plan, no concept, no even inspiration. They were really just literally freeballing it with the paintball. Well, be inspired.
I think that's... I don't even know what to say about that. I think it's a good idea because I think as a designer, a lot of times I will get inspired by a fabric and that will, produce a silhouette or ideas in my brain. But they had no even concept about the fabric. They're just throwing every color on there. They're not saying, oh, we're going to go monochrome, or let's do these 2 colors, or let's do a pattern, or anything. It was just like Easter eggs dying on these sheets.
Right.
The Easter egg died and went to heaven, but
or hell.
yeah, Easter egg hell. Oh no. However, they try and come up with an idea with it, but it's just they never I'm sorry, I keep saying they. The girls team never quite came up with a good concept, and Ashley was kind of frustrated because she wanted to step in and say, what if we all focus on this theme? They didn't ever have anything cohesive or theme. And what did you notice when the girls team, women's team were discussing it together?
It was really sad because there was no clear leader and there was also no unity whatsoever. Ashley mentioned later on that it was literally people yelling over each other the whole time, and there wasn't really any decision making going on. It's just people talking to hear the sound of their voice or feel like they're contributing, which is horrible because I'm thinking girl power, yes, this could be so beautiful, and it was just tragic from the beginning.
Yeah, we're seriously disappointed in the girls. They could have done with here, whoever has the pen gets to talk.
Right.
I mean, it was ridiculous. Can you not be any more disrespectful of each other? And that was clearly coming through in the workroom.
And I'm just curious, when they were playing this paintball game outside, did all of the people on one team have certain colors of paint in the paintballs? Because it seemed like, the boys kind of got hit with blue and yellow paintballs.
Right, you did
And
mention that
the
too.
girls got hit with the pink and purple and orange. And is it just because that's what was given? I don't know what happened, but maybe they were trying to make sure that the colors could work together. But I don't know. I was kind of... if I had in my ways, I would have wanted orange and yellow and then blue and purple. I don't know. It just kind of...
definitely not pink and purple.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the irony of the colors matching the teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys are blue, girls are pink. Barbies and Hot Wheels. It's oh, okay, are we back to being 7-year-olds? And actually, I noticed that's not speaking very highly of 7-year-olds, by the way. They're pretty awesome. But I noticed that, you know, with the whole like paintballs and trying to do the teamwork and how one team was working really well together and one team was struggling, the girls, it kind of turned into like that like elementary school art class gone bad.
Right. Art class from hell.
Oh. And then so Tim's like, oh, by the way, I have a surprise. It's Liddy Bazan's Sally Beauty Consultant. So then I'm like, oh, here comes the commercial. There's a mobile Sally Beauty nail salon studio. And they have 750 colors of nail polish to create nail art. And I'm just thinking, okay, but what does this have to do with what they're doing? But it was cool. I mean, what did you like and not like about that whole nail art thing?
At first I thought, well, just specifically thinking about the girls team, that, you know, this is the least of their problems right now. They need to get some fabric going. Like, they don't have any pieces yet, and now they're looking at nails, and I didn't think it was priority, but then I started looking because I need to get my nails done. I was like getting inspired.
Yeah, my nail polish is like chipping on one hand. I'm like,
where is my local nail studio?
Yeah, can the Sally Mobile Studio come to AFTERBUZZ TV, please?
Please do.
Yeah, next time. Okay, what were you thinking?
I think it was pretty cool because I think, you know, like you brought up, a head-to-toe look is what the designer needs to be thinking about in presentation. And they don't often get to do their nails because they have to let them dry. They don't have time. They have like 15 seconds to get them into makeup. So I thought it was a cool little addition, and I think, you know, for the girls, it was like the most cohesive part of their collection. But at the same time, it's like a little distracting. Like, you can't even really see their nails on the runway. So
no, I mean, just speaking from experience, whenever they have like nail color for a fashion show, it's usually they just ask the models to all come in like a nude color or like a blush, like a soft, not blush, but like Prada pink, that really pale pink. It's almost not even pink. It's kind of like a tan, if that.
So
just something neutral, yeah.
Yeah, they try to make everyone look kind of the same, like if it's just like a typical show, but sometimes they'll have like a nail technician, manicurist there doing all the models' fingers and toes, especially for spring collections. I feel like they always kind of pull that in. So if anyone is watching a fashion show and they notice all the models are like nude fingernails, it's like, oh, well, that's not a trend. Don't like say, oh, this is a new spring trend. It's like, no, they just come with that anyway. But yeah, I mean, unless you have a manicurist backstage and they're doing this certain nude color on purpose, and then it's like, okay, that is a trend. So it's interesting to like think how there's like accidental trends. Yeah. But yeah, I have noticed like some shows they really want like super dark red or like black nails, something that makes like a statement, and then it's cohesive.
Yeah.
If it's like a really edgy collection, Michelle, it might be like black nails or like gold or I don't know, something strong that would add to it. But if it's kind of like the girls' team, they did kind of a light color. I mean, it was pretty, but from far away, it didn't speak to me.
It was cool for the show because they could close in on it and you could see the detail, and the techniques they picked and stuff were pretty rad.
Yeah, pretty rad.
Pretty rad, but for the regular runway, I mean,
some rad places. I like what Michelle is saying tonight. Oh my goodness.
But I thought the boys did a better, well, the boys plus Marlene did a better choice when it came to the nails overall, because they were, similar palettes, still going with the theme of their collection, but they had, different designs going on.
Yeah, and I wonder if Marlene was like, oh, I got this. Right. Let me do the nails. I'm the expert. She's like, you guys don't get nail art. Maybe they do. I don't know, but she's probably like, I wanted to know like who was in charge of that on their team. Or did each designer go in individually and do that? I'm not sure.
Maybe, because I could see Edmund coming in and just, I want this slight curve.
The slight little diagonal line here. And,
I feel like they must have talked about it before, though, at least the theme, like they did with the collection. Everybody seemed to be really communicating with each other. So I feel like that must have extended to the nails, too.
I just came up with an idea right now. I think this is like Project Runway Bad Girls Club. This is what happened today. And I think that has to do a lot with the production company. Now, they're doing a good job with the show. I'm not trying to hate on them. I'm just saying I think because they've been very well experienced with Real World, Bad Girls Club, that kind of show.
Yeah.
they without even meaning to will want to kind of go there because that's like their talent. And so I get that, like, if that's what you're very good at making, it's like, well, you have the people to stir the pot with, so maybe
That I totally see where you're going.
I had a revelation.
Totally see where you're going with that.
I just think it'd be more successful if they kind of went back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
remember those classic episodes, the iconic
I do.
designers. And I mean, I feel like you'd have a bigger fan base, and
Yeah.
I know, I agree, but I try not to hate too much on the new way because it's still an interesting show.
okay, but
But
if
I
you get
agree.
12 designers in a room together, they're gonna create their own drama.
Yes,
you don't
agreed.
have to mess with
You
it.
don't have to like pick and choose people based on their personalities.
There's gonna be drama no matter what.
You should pick people that are the strongest designers that you can possibly find, and then within that, okay, pick some different ages and different
Right.
genders, different looks.
And I think all the drama has been very cliche stuff.
Yes,
So cliche.
especially today,
Not organic.
And we were. I hope I can speak for all of us to say we were all very let down by these ladies. I mean, hello,
Definitely.
2015, and you're all adults and you can't get it together. So okay, yeah. So they get back. They're still in the workroom, and okay, I'm mumbling, but I'm very excited about this episode. What else? Is there anything before we move on that stood out to you in the workroom? Anything anybody said or did?
I mean, I just think how it was going, you could already tell what the result was going to be. Mm-hmm. The girls were clearly not working well together. They weren't going to pull it together. No one was going to change their attitude. Mm-hmm. Nobody stepped up and really became a leader. I think Candace kind of tried to, but instead of leading and uniting everyone, she just kind of told people what to do with their outfits. I mean, that's what we saw. I don't know what really happened, but
So she was being bossy, but not being a boss.
Right, because that's kind of what Amanda mentioned when talking about Candace, that she was kind of giving, direction that no one needed or wanted.
But, I mean, they really needed to rally together and come up with a basic concept. There was never a concept defined. No one came forward and said, hey, guys, this is what we need to do.
And I feel like, I'm sorry to cut in, I'm sorry. I just feel like whenever there is no plan, you should not start working yet.
No.
If it takes you 3 hours to come up with a good plan, then fine, then do it, and then put all the work in. Work like crazy, but...
Yeah.
Right, because at one point they had this super long meeting where they kind of still didn't really get that much done. And it's like, you look at the boys and Marlene team, and they're just chugging away, making headway, and they're over here boo-hooing about how horrible their collection is looking already.
Let's sit over here with our tea.
Right, the biggest Debbie Downers. I was like,
Oh,
get it together.
yes. And I noticed that Lori came over to Ashley and she said, almost under her breath, she was like, they are throwing you under the bus. And Ashley's like, what? I can't hear you. And she's like, no, they're going to get on the runway. And if it comes down to our team being in the bottom, which I think it will, those girls over there are going to all gang up on you. And they're all going to put you on blast and be like, you're the worst.
I don't think it was a big surprise to Ashley, but I think she was still hurt by it, and she knew it was coming. And for someone else to
Mention it.
actually say, this is what's happening, I think she had a hard time.
I thought that was really brave of Laurie, though.
I do
Same.
too.
And I was proud of her for stepping up and just being like, look, this is what's going on. And she didn't have any strategy. She wasn't trying to get on another side or anything like that. She was just saying, this is what's happening, and I've heard it.
I think she just noticed it was just asinine what was going on.
Yeah.
So she didn't really want to be a part of that. But you can't control when you've got these other people. It's like a snowball running down the hill, and you can't control where it's going to go. But
I think, oh, sorry.
Lori would have been fine technically either way, because if she wasn't a kind person, she could have been quiet and they weren't going to throw her on the bus. So
I respect designers so much more for that, though. If you can win and focus on your own work and still be kind and helpful to other people instead of threatened, that's the way to go. I would like to see her do well just for that.
Yeah, I think the Mean Girls Club basically decided to gang up on her because they're afraid of her. They think she's so good and she's a threat to them. So it's like that, but that kind of craziness doesn't work on Project Runway, ladies.
Right.
It doesn't work in real life either.
No, hello. And it doesn't even work in high school. I mean, people say go back to high school, but it's like you should know better even in high school, I say.
Right. And it's crazy what insecurity will do to people.
Yes.
Just so much insecurity.
The thing is, Ashley wasn't even causing a problem, but they decided to gang up on her. If someone was clearly a super weak link and it was a problem, I could understand everyone saying, hey, we agree, you know, this person, whatever, but then you should rally around them and help them. Mm-hmm. And not throw them under the bus.
Yeah, like Edmund tried to help, I can't think of her name. Han Miao.
Han Miao.
Thank you. Edmund tried to help her out, and Han Miao was just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be part of it. Like, let me do my thing, and you, shut up. And it was so mean. Oh, man, it was so mean. And so she was like this little, everyone thought she was kind of like a shy girl, and all of a sudden she was a secret bitch. So anyway, they get to the runway. Here comes the runway, and talk about a good panel of judges tonight.
Yes, I was so excited because Kelly Osbourne.
Yay!
She was on Fashion Police. She really has been groomed to being a really good fashion critic, and she's also so much fun.
Yes, and then we also have Lisa Perry, who is a designer, and I didn't write down her design line, but I don't know if her label is her name.
I think it may be because they didn't actually mention it. They just said designer Lisa Perry.
Okay. Well, I have been schooled. So the boys team is up first on the runway, and then as we have our pictures come up, this is Blake's design. What are your runway rundown words tonight? Starting with VIP.
Yeah. So the first thing I thought of was rain. It looked like she stepped outside and then it started to rain from the ground up. But what I really loved was the back, and then I kept thinking, I wish she had walked on the runway backwards.
Wow, yeah, I thought the back was really interesting. What did you think, Michelle?
I put fresh, easy, cool, chic. I kind of got that rain feeling too, like it just rained and it smells so nice and everything. Yeah.
Oh, wow, I love it. Okay, I just put fun, cute, simple dress. The back is better than the front, but maybe it's just personal preference. I would have wanted it to be a little bit tighter, because you see how it like crumples up on her sides of her body?
Especially like around the waist a little bit.
But it's an interesting fabric to manipulate, so I think they did a really good job. And here we have Joseph. Ooh, I'm shaking my head at this one. Okay, go ahead, Vivian.
Evil stepmom, Stepford wife, and president of the PTA.
Oh, I don't know what people would think if the president of the PTA came into a meeting like that. Okay, Michelle.
I thought it was actually really concise for him, but it was still like a 50s housewife, really matronly. He can't get away from that.
I know, and I feel like...
Run away from it.
Joseph, I have to say, this jacket could have been cool, but because of where it hits on her body and how high up it goes on the neck, it's just making her boobs look saggy, and they aren't. It's because of the jacket starts way up high and her boobs are here. It's not doing a good thing to the line of her upper body. And so I know this is a lot more words than 3 words. And I'm not a fan of the jacket. But, we have Swap Nil.
So my first thought was garden party. And then I thought it was kind of like a spin on a Disney princess kind of dress.
Ooh, yes. Update.
A chocolate Cinderella.
Yes. Oh, okay. I love it. I'm getting so loud over here. I'm really excited about this one. Okay.
I actually put modern day Cinderella.
Yeah. Oh, great minds think alike on AfterBuzz TV. Okay, I put Little Miss Muffet grown up.
So we're just all in a fairy tale world.
This is a fairy tale dress, and I just love the back. And later we find out that he uses the shoes they were wearing in the paint gun fight, to do the corset on the back. So the back of her top ties together like a corset. It's just my favorite. Okay, moving on. We have Jake.
So I felt like if Grease ever extended to have like maybe a TV show, this could have been the look from Sandy when she became like a cool girl.
Oh, yes. You're the one that I want. Right. Honey. I could keep going, but I won't. It's not the Amanda musical hour, but I kind of wish that I could. Okay, Michelle.
I didn't really write too much about this. I just love the top. I like it with the necklace. I like the collar. I like the cape effect. I think that top is super modern.
Ooh, it is super modern. I actually love how the top is more like borrowed from the boys. Mm-hmm. And the pants are more classic 50s style. You know, their whole collection was inspired by the 50s. But I just have a personal hatred of capri pants. I don't know why I hate them so much, but I was just, as soon as the camera panned down and I saw her legs, I was like, not capris! But you know what? It is of the era.
Yeah, it's very
so
timely
I think
for
this is a solid piece, and like you guys said, the top is incredible. And then Merlene, we couldn't get like the best picture of it because like the camera angles kept moving and changing to show you all the details. But when this walked out, it was so exciting.
Right. I had to say it was her best piece ever on the show.
Merlene!
Hands down. And she looked like a really cool art professor that made you so inspired and wanted to go chase your dreams and all that stuff.
Yes! You're right. What did you think, Michelle?
This was probably my favorite. It was like if, you took a piece of modern art, but it was turned into a garment. I thought it was super architectural and fresh and interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see that. Oh, you're so smart. Okay. I just said, wow, welcome to the show, Merlene.
Yes.
Welcome to Project Runway. Here she is. She's finally like come out of her shell, and I think maybe, not that she had a shell because she's been dancing and singing this whole time, but maybe she had to like come out of her design shell.
Right.
And now that she's on a team with all these great people who are encouraging to each other and could help each other out and collaborate, this is the result. And Blake said that he painted that beautiful flower, and then
the
Edmund
two people
and
dip dyed the bottom of the skirt.
But it was her design, and then they were just adding detail to it. But it must have been her idea to put those in the certain spots, and it was so great. And I just best work yet, Merlene.
I agree with you about Merlene. I think I never really even noticed her. Maybe she was crazy. I didn't think about the designs, but I think she's like becoming one of my new favorites.
Me too.
Yeah.
And
she's
the one
like
she
a
did last
secret
week.
top 3.
Oh yeah, secret
Sweeper.
top 3.
Yeah. And then Edmund. Ta-da. I want to sing everything tonight. Vivian, what did you think?
Love, 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 love. The detail is amazing. I would wear this in the heartbeat. I'm hoping that Edmund is watching and will ship me one in my size.
Yay, Edmund. Okay, Michelle.
Clean and classic.
It is clean and classic. It's the perfect fitting gown, and it's so flattering on everyone.
Seriously.
And from the beautiful model who's wearing it to Kelly Osbourne, who's a different height, and has more boobies and everything, curvaceous and gorgeous. She wanted one. She's like, Edmund, can I have one? I want to wear it.
Because I think it's very flattering too, the where it hits at the waist.
Yeah.
Because it has movement, and then it also has some room if you got a little tummy action. You need
if you want to have a big dinner before your event. And I love because the waistline is at the tiniest part of a woman. So it's highlighting that tiny part, just like Stacey London always said on What Not to Wear. The A-line skirt is everybody's friend because it hugs you at the tight part and it goes away from you and it kind of floats away from your body and you don't know about the hip area.
Yes.
It's kind of, I love you, Stacey London.
Playing with the collar. It was just so fun.
And the model is into it. You can tell when the models are into it, and you can also tell, segue into our next collection, when the models are hating it. So then we went from the most gorgeous thing to the most crazy collection I might have seen ever. I mean, this is, I'm going to launch into my opinion right away because I just have to say, this whole collection is kind of worse than like a school collection.
Way worse.
Because like you see like a college freshman fashion design student and they can do better work than this.
Right.
Agreed.
Anyway, I'll get to my 3 words later. I just wanted to say that about the whole collection.
And that's so funny because it does perfectly tie into my words because I thought this was a first day of college outfit. Yes, or it could also be pledge week at the sorority row.
Yes. Wow, okay. That crazy collar. Okay, Michelle.
This was like an anime paper doll outfit.
Ooh, Sailor Moon.
Yeah, kind of.
I can kind of see that with the collar.
Yeah, but it kind of looked like it was all made out of paper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, it does, especially the way it sticks out awkwardly. She had on a vest, but the vest you can't tell what's happening, and the model takes off the vest on her way back, and you
it
see
looks the same.
Yeah, you see that the collar had the detail. I wish she would have not worn the vest ever because the top was more.
Or maybe worn the vest and got rid of the top.
Yeah.
I wish Ashley had kept the pants.
Yes, me too.
Yes. We all agreed on that when we watched it come down because she, in the workroom, had created these pants and she's like, oh, they're too tight, but it would have been better than that skirt. It was like such an afterthought. It was just like, oh, I'm just going to make a skirt.
Right.
Sometimes you run out of time, but I think it was really unfortunate because I'm rooting for Ashley. I think she could have done better on this one, and I think the stress.
I wish that Ashley could have been the leader.
Yeah.
You know, out of that button bag, and she could have been in charge. And you know what? Who cares about the button bag? You got to collaborate. It doesn't have to be one leader. It can be everyone feeling like leaders. Anyway. Then we have, Laurie. Mm-hmm. And what did you think of Laurie, Vivian?
Happy hour at the fraternity house.
Oh, you were in college tonight. Oh, my gosh.
They took me back to college because the skirt, she had a slight, kind of like a little high-low hem, which she mentioned.
Were they like a skirt shorts? Like a culottes?
Yeah, the culottes. And I don't know, it was such a basic outfit that I feel like you could get the pieces at H&M or Forever 21 and throw something together before you try and get some boys.
You could throw something together better than that, too.
Yeah.
Okay, Michelle.
So this is like the girl wants to look cute, but someone's stalking her, so she still has to wear her bulletproof vest.
This time, baby, I'll be bulletproof.
This is the singing episode. Okay, well, I just thought she was going to the Ice Capades.
Yeah.
She's ready to do her triple flip and triple sow cow and double turn and twist and on the ice, but not in real life. This is not. Looks too much like a costume. Next. This is Lindsay's creation of the week. What did you think?
Oy,
VIP.
oy. So I thought first off that it had a really bad fit, and then her jacket looked like a painter's smock. Mm-hmm. And then when she took it off, she looked like Little Miss Muffet, baked green. And
Wait, that's that Little Miss Muffet about different people. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, what did you think, Michelle?
Yeah, for me it was definitely like, oh, the inspiration is paint. I'll make a painter's smock.
yeah.
Oh, I just thought she was like a sad moth. Like she just wants to fly away.
Can't find the light.
And then she takes off the paint smock, and then it's old lady pants. We don't have a picture of that, but I'm sure if you saw it, it will never leave your mind. It was just really high-waisted, kind of like mom jeans, but pants, and it hitting just weirdness.
It's not flattering.
No, Lindsay does not know how to make flattering clothes. She might have some interesting ideas, but fitting wise, it's not
It's
flattering.
just so frumpy. Everything I see from her is frumpy.
Yes, she can get together with Josh. Was it Josh? What's his name? Oh no, what's his name? I don't want to get it wrong. She can get it together with Joseph, and they can have a frumpy mumsy party.
Yes.
Okay. Now we have Candace.
So for Candace, I thought that this looked kind of like what you mentioned earlier, my first fashion show.
Yeah.
Because the construction was not great. The colors are kind of terrible. And I felt so bad for the model because she was trying to look pleasant, but you can only do so much.
She was hating it. You could see it. She was like, whatever, I'm just going to count my money to get my paycheck. Walking down the runway, but I don't like it. Okay.
So I thought this was the best of the girls, which really says a lot, I guess.
Oh, P.S., sorry. You can see those granny pants in the background from Lindsay. Side note, okay. But yeah, you said it was the best from the women's collection.
Which is really unfortunate for them. I see the idea. It definitely looks like Candace. I didn't like the colors, but maybe she was stuck with that. But the construction was horrific, and the top looked so tortured that you couldn't even tell what she was going for. Like, the skirt was pretty cool, but there was just too many problems.
I agree.
More colors, more problems. Too many choices. I thought her top, now we can't really see it in this picture, but it looks like a folded table napkin. The purple, like, it would be like on the table with like a little ring around the middle.
But it wasn't even folded like as good as a napkin.
No, it was worse. And then
it was a used napkin.
And I know, speaking of that, it did remind me of like a purple maxi pad just stapled on.
Oh.
Just, and also she looks like some kind of flight attendant.
A little bit.
I can see that.
Like, welcome to Purple Airlines. Speaking of Purple Airlines, we have Kelly. I don't know about this one.
Oh, such bad styling. Like, just overall, her taste level here was terrible. I thought of The Little Mermaid, and I wasn't alone in this thought, which we heard later on. I don't know where she was going with this.
Oh, no. What did you think, Michelle?
The only thing I really wrote is I like the bracelet.
That was the only thing you liked,
The
huh?
little vest thing was really a cool idea, but the proportions and execution, and again, the colors were terrible.
And you do so many of those things so much better, the little vest that you do.
Oh,
so you know how to construct that. I was just like, Barney called, he wants his collection back.
Oh,
This is Barney at the prom.
Barney. And it's a worse purple than Barney.
I was really disappointed because Kelly's stuff, I feel like she does have a taste issue, but she's like right on that line where she's willing to go there and explore it, and
Right.
it turns out really cool sometimes. And I just was like, what is this, Kelly?
Kelly was one of my has been one of my favorite designers, because I think she can be very fresh and start new trends with what she does. But I don't want to wear this.
Don't start this trend.
Yeah.
I have to say, it did not do any favors to her breasts, because it's like, here, put on this little thing. It's like strip of fabric to like hoist them down, like get rid of them. I just feel like this was like an anti-cleavage.
Yeah.
And the skirt was like the bottom half of, like, if it was in white, it would look like a wedding dress.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, okay, and then we have Amanda. Okay, Vivian.
Well, at first I was like, oh, this can be a little funky, flirty, and then I woke up and did not think the same.
You woke up.
I wiped the sleep from my eyes. I feel like the idea was just so simple and basic, and she had a lot more room to be creative, and it didn't translate.
Yeah, like for 2 days.
Right, like this
2
is
days
like
of
a
work?
2
This looks like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I could do this, and I could barely cut with scissors.
I don't even know how to use a sewing machine. I feel like I could do it too. Okay, Michelle.
So this is like a dress for a pregnant mom, but she also likes to go base jumping, so she can double it as
she's
a
not-
parachute.
I'm not so sure that she wants to have the
I don't
baby.
know.
Oh, death defying. Okay, well, I was just like, at first when it came out, I kind of loved the way it moved.
Yeah, that's what got me too.
Without knowing what the challenge was or what the designers were thinking, it's just like, okay, it's an interesting movement. But then that was all I got. I just feel
like she could have done something cooler. Maybe there's like a piece up here or some structure on the top, because
It's just
it is cool. Like,
shapeless.
I would probably
Shapeless.
wear that shape, but it doesn't have enough interest to it. Or even, can I say a designer made that? Like, it's like a sheet that got,
tie-dyed.
wrapped around this girl, and it has some good movement to it. I mean,
I'm literally yawning right now looking at this dress.
Right.
That's how much excitement it brings. So then we have the final results. The blue team wins, all the boys plus Merlene, of course. And then the big winner from the group is Edmund with that gorgeous gown. And then, of course, the girl group is in the bottom. They have a Mean Girls Club, Bad Girls Club on the runway, which is awful. I like saying it, but I don't like watching that.
yeah.
And it was exactly as Laurie predicted.
But to be fair, Ashley did not deliver a garment that she could necessarily say, hey, I did a really great job. Why are you saying I should go home? Because her garment was just as unfortunate as some of the other ones.
It was.
very true.
It was. But she didn't deserve to go home based
No.
on it. There was some other
Terrible.
foolery.
Yes.
So Amanda is eliminated, which we were kind of happy about. And I know I would like to hear from Amanda, because I know she's got to be a good person, good heart, to come on there and go back after being eliminated in season 9.
Right.
And so I would like to hear from her. I'm sure you guys would too. Tweet us your questions. Maybe we'll get to talk to her in an upcoming episode. Maybe she'll call in. But I just want to know, like, I don't want to hate on her, because, you know how reality TV can be, of course, Michelle being on Under the Gun. And, it can be very manipulated, and it can be very edited to what they want it to become. Mm-hmm. And so it may not have been a total Mean Girls thing all the time. I kind of want to hear, like, well, maybe there was a moment of redemption for those girls. But basically, it came down to Kelly, Amanda, and Candace all saying, well, I think Ashley should go home. Ashley should go home. It was like
Right.
one after the next.
And Kelly Osbourne called them all out on it. She called it a B-fest, which was terrible because...
Biatch.
Yeah, they weren't owning up to it. That's essentially what she was saying. And personally, I thought that Amanda, throughout the episode, was playing the victim. Like, she was the victim that she's been in the bottom, and she wasn't the victim for every single moment of this whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
Even when she was leaving, she was a victim because if I wanted to leave, if I was kicked off, I wanted to be kicked off for a piece I was proud of, not one that, I didn't like. Well, if you get kicked off, like, regardless of you like the piece, you're still getting kicked off.
Well, you're right. And I just think, I wasn't going to say it, but I'm just going to keep it real. I think Amanda wasn't that great of a designer in any challenge.
That's why I think she went home, though. It wasn't about the Mean Girls Club. It was about she's consistently been a weak designer.
Right.
And I do see how she probably felt terrible because I was the same way when I got kicked off. I didn't really like what I made. That was my responsibility, though. But it does feel a lot worse if you like what you made, but the judges didn't like it. Oh, well, you can go home and feel great. But I think in Amanda's case, she let it get to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what she does outside of Project Runway.
Because I'm sure she's very creative in her style, so I'm sure her own stuff is much better.
And she did have a booth at the Women's Wear Daily Magic show. It's not a magician show. It's just like a place for buyers to come and order pieces for their store. So I saw online on her Instagram that she had a whole booth there, which is really a big deal because it means that buyers are coming in from all over the world and ordering things for their store. So hopefully, she has some really cool pieces that people really were into. And she's really into making wide leg bell bottom style pants. She's always wearing them online. So Amanda, we do like your funky style, and I kind of wish that you would have done more of those crazy kooky things on the show and not. I feel like she kind of played it safe with those dresses. I don't know.
But she started out crazy.
Scared. Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, no, I can't be crazy because the judges said don't be crazy. So, but sometimes you have to pick and choose what advice you're going to take because ultimately it is you standing behind your garment. What are you going to say? Oh, the judges told me to do this or not do this.
Right.
You have to just go with your gut and
Yeah. Or tone it down, not turn it off.
Right.
Yeah. She just turned it off.
Go crazy and dial it back a little bit. Just, you have to have something to work with. You can't just be like, hi, I'm going to put a 1 out there. Maybe I'll be safe.
Yeah, it was definitely a 1.
Shake my head. So sorry.
0.5.
So sorry, but...
Okay, well... It was kind of disappointing to see how the people acted, but ultimately the fashion coming out of this episode was great.
It was
from
fantastic.
the good team. And yeah, I have to say I was kind of wishing for at least one of those pieces from the girls team to just wow us and be like, okay, well, they were a mess, but at least this one person.
But nobody on that team was happy.
No.
Nobody.
And it showed in their choices. And they had all of these things to pick from, other fabrics, supplemental fabrics.
Except for the purple.
And then it was let's just choose the worst. I almost feel like that orange would have been better.
I think the orange would have been way better.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I thought orange and pink can be cool together.
Cooler than that purple. Anything would be cooler than the purple.
God. It was they're like, we're going to give you guys some choices. Let's see if you can pick the worst one.
The funniest part is they had different purples that didn't match that they put together, and it wasn't intentional. And I was like, oh.
But speaking of good pinks and purples, I am wearing Michelle Uberreste dress tonight. Woo!
You can fly.
If you want to see more of her collection, you can go to her website.
MichelleUberreste.com.
And you can order designs on there. Where can we, again, find you all online, starting with Michelle?
I'm at Uberreste on Instagram and Twitter.
And Vivian?
Vivaciously Viv on Instagram and Twitter, and vivaciouslyvivian.com.
And you guys can find me at The Runway Queen on Twitter and Instagram. We're so grateful that you watch our little show, and we'll see you again next week with hopefully some more exciting designs.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.